What's up, core reporters, and welcome back to my channel. Listen, how the hell did nobody tell me that The Sister Wives on TLC is a comedy show? This should really be on Comedy Central rather than TLC. And let me tell you why, okay? So if you keep up with me on YouTube and in my community tab, then you would have seen that like a couple months ago, I mentioned wanting to get into this new season because it seemed like there was a lot of juicy drama unfolding, okay? So I decided to tip my hat into the ring, start watching this season, and right at the beginning, that Cody guy, he really let his whole ass hang out when he said that he expects for his wives to court him, be 100% loyal to him while he bangs other women and marries other women, and to see him as the head of their families when he doesn't even raise the kids full time. It's the women who do that, and they pay their own bills on top of it. I have to laugh because that is absolutely incredibly insane to expect, right? I was wondering to myself, how the hell did these women fall for this for so long? Because this has to be one of the worst deals ever, right? Like, why should they be courting this man? It's up to him to be courting them and scamming them into this polygamous situation. And this is nothing against ethical polygamy, right? So let me tell you this. In my culture, I don't know if it's still a thing, but actually back in the day, you could have a bunch of wives, however many you could afford. You cannot just have a wife and have her paying her own bills, because then you do not deserve to have a second wife and a third, and so on and so on and so forth, right? So the fact that this man fooled 4 women into marrying him and paying their own bills and treating him like he is the king of the castle, meanwhile they are the full-time parents to their kids, right? Like, we'll get into this later on in the recap, but this man, there are some kids that he's ignoring and holding some kind of grudge against. That is supposed to be the man that we're courting? That is supposed to be the head of the household? Please, I have to laugh, okay? And speaking of laugh, I'm sorry, Meri, but it was very apparent from like the previews and stuff, and even like the first 2 seconds of this episode, that she is the Toby of the Sister Wives. Cody really can't stand this woman, and for some reason, she is refusing to allow it to sink in, right? Like, oh my God. So apparently there's been some kind of long-standing dispute between Cody and the kids that he shares with Janelle, and that is because he felt as though the sons were not taking COVID seriously enough, and so he didn't want to spend time with them because I think he's some sort of a hypochondriac. And it's not just based off the COVID stuff, but other stuff that comes up like later on in the episode at the very end when he sits down with Christine, the first wife to leave him. So Janelle's sons got fed up of not seeing Cody for a while, so they went ahead and texted his favorite wife saying, oh, well, why don't you send our dad back? We need him back, you know? And Cody, he has had it out for his own kids ever since. Like, he demands an apology for his favorite wife. Like, how dare his children speak to his favorite wife that way, right? And it's funny because Robyn is claiming that she doesn't even feel like she needs an apology from the kids. It's Cody who is refusing to speak to them and is mad on her behalf that they dare to disturb his queens. Oh! Guys, how did you not put me onto this show earlier? Like, this show is hilarious. I'm gagged. I'm already like all in on this thing. I know I'm 18 seasons late, but it's absolutely worth watching, okay? Now, according to Janelle, her kids don't want to spend the holidays with Cody anymore because he has been giving them the cold shoulder and they're just not vibing with him right now. Like, Cody says that the only way that he will agree to spend holiday with the kids is if they agree to apologize to his fave wife, who doesn't even want the damn apology. And he's actually upset at his other wife, Janelle, the mother of the kids, for not supporting him through his divorce to a different woman. So that woman is Christine. And I gotta say this, Christine is one fly mama jama. I keep pronouncing this wrong and I wanna say it. Is it mama jama or is it mama jamma? Okay, because to me, out of all the women, it's not a beauty pageant, but to me, like, she is really gorgeous. Like, she's so elegant to me. Like, she's chic. She's got that, like, I let myself age gracefully kind of a vibe, and I love it, right? So anyway, she's the first one to divorce him, and he's upset at Janelle, who's got her own kids to worry about because they're dealing with estrangement from their father. But their father is like, well, why doesn't their mother support me through this divorce I'm going through? Ah. So now, apparently, Toby wants to go ahead and have a meeting with Kody. And so the only reason, by the way, Toby is Meri, but I need to refer to her as Toby because that's the role that she plays within this family. So she wants to see Kody, and Cody's like, all right, well, you can see me, but only if you go to my favorite wife's house, aka Robyn. And mind you, I thought that Kody was going to be there to like hang out with Toby for a little bit to address her concerns, right? Because wasn't he just complaining that like one of his other wives is not there for him through his divorce? So you would think that he would appreciate Toby coming along to potentially like talk to him about like the divorce and stuff and like, you know, spend some time together, get that emotional intimacy going. But no, he's like, no, the only way you can see me is if you go to my favorite wife's house. And mind you, Kody doesn't even show up. Toby has to have a conversation with Meri, with what's her face? Oh Lord, with Robyn on her own because Kody could not be bothered to see her. And so she tells the camera that like there are friends who speak to each other more often than she speaks to Kody. Like they only speak to each other like once every other week or something like that. Like it's very, very sporadic. And I'm like, that's crazy. Like my friends, I cannot imagine like my close friends, like especially like my bestie. One of my besties is like my sister. We speak a million times a day, you know, even though she lives in a different country. I can't imagine that, you know? So like the fact that she's just so casual about it is just such peak Toby energy. Oh my God. So Robyn, for whatever reason, is upset about her husband divorcing one of the women, which is really strange to me because we already know, and this is a big bone of contention amongst the women, that Kody spends about 90% of his time with Robyn. So did she just think that that was going to be okay with the other wives? Like, isn't that all the better for her? Because it doesn't seem like she's concerned about like spreading out the time with him or sharing him or anything like that. So wouldn't you be happy that it's one less wife to share your man with? Like, I don't know. It just seems like she just wanted this to be an issue when deep down it's not even an actual issue for her. You know what I mean? And so I just was not buying the fake tears, to be honest with you. Or unless she's like one of those girls that like wants Kody only to like dangle him in front of the other girls. And like, if other girls are not jealous that this non-bill paying man, non-fathering man is spending all his time with her, then she doesn't want him as much. Like that's the vibe I was getting. And so she claims that she thought the family was perfect when she joined. And you would think she just joined this family a couple months ago, but apparently she's been here for over a decade, which makes like the theatrics all the more funny. Okay. Again, this show needs to be on Comedy Central. You are sleeping on this, CC. Come take it off TLC's hands because this is hilarious. So now, I answered my questions. I find out the answer to my question from earlier. Remember, at the top of this video, I was wondering, how did these girls get convinced that this like BS arrangement would benefit them? Like, how did they get played into this mess of a situation, right? Well, it turns out, like, I guess religiously or something like that, they were convinced that having a polygamous marriage would send them into heaven. The way that religion has been used to like control and subjugate women is just wild to me. It's wild. And I can say that because I grew up in like Catholic schools, right? So I knew about like a lot of the sexism going on in there. Just to think that these women signed up to be single mothers in their own homes, to be emotionally neglected, physically neglected, spiritually neglected, and on top of that, to be paying their own bills is wild. And I'm speechless. How the hell? Like, oh my God. So now, you know, let's go back to his favorite wife, Robyn. Okay. So Robyn, in her conversation with Toby, she talks about how she expects for the wives to pick up the emotional slack for Kody. perform all the emotional labor that he's supposed to be doing as the husband amongst all these wives to help keep the family together. And I'm like, no wonder this man likes her so much. She is the ultimate pick me. So now let's just recap what all these women need to do when it comes to this BS arrangement, shall we? When we add in what Robyn's expecting. So they're expected to court him, be 100% loyal to him while he's loyal to a bunch of other different women, while he's disloyal to them. Raise the children on their own, but still consider him the head of their households. Pay their own bills and still consider him the head of their households. And now they're supposed to be the one to keep all of these marriages intact and bind the family together on his behalf. What? Insanity. Literal insanity. Like, literally, I am so glad that these girls bounced. Even you, Toby. I'm happy you finally picked up your dignity up off the floor. Not even up off the floor, because it was below there. I'm happy you dug to the equator of the earth, found it, came back up, and decided to pack up your bags and leave with the other lives, and to just let Pick Misha keep her man and that crappy ass deal that they've got going on. Oh Lord, I am so happy I'm finally into this show because it is well worth the watch. Guys, what did you think of the debut episode of the 18th season of Sister Wives? Make sure to let me know all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. And as usual, we'll chat. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.